think I might be live. Okay, here we go. I'm live. Hi, everyone. It's Mo at Issaquah Sewing and Vacuum, and I'm here today to give you a tip and a deal. And we're going to keep this up on Facebook because I don't know if all of you are aware, but there was a mighty storm here last night, and it has left a lot of the Puget Sound without power. So I may just be talking to myself right now, and that's okay. That's okay. I like to hear myself talk. But anyway, we'll leave it up on Facebook, and you'll have the chance to see it when you do get power and you are back, safely with lights on and your internet connected. But in the meantime, let's talk about the tip I want to give you today. Today's tip has to do with using your iron, okay? I have set up a little makeshift area here to talk to you about ironing. See how I use the word ironing? If you're a quilter or sometimes garment construction or things along that line, ironing is not exactly what you want to do. Technically, if you're ironing, right? Let me take an iron. You are putting this down on fabric. You're applying pressure and moving the iron forward. We know we do that on the edge of our clothing when we're pressing and to get that nice flat seam. If you apply pressure on your quilt blocks and iron, you are actually distorting the fabric to some degree. And that can change when you want to put those beautiful puzzle pieces together to make your lovely quilt top. And so what you want to do is what we call pressing. This is the difference between ironing and pressing. So pressing means that you lay your iron on top of the fabric and let the heat do its work to set your seams, all right? And then again, move your iron, put it down, and allow it to set your seams. Really awesome. This is my tip for today. Don't be applying pressure and scooting the iron. Put the iron down and do some really nice pressing. When you go to a quilt show or you're looking at quilts and they're so beautifully flat and so nicely pressed, there's a lot of ways people achieve that. Today I'm playing with a few little tools. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks. When piecing, sometimes next to you, you want to have a small iron. You want to be able to just press your blocks and move on so that you can continue connecting your blocks. There is an iron out there, and again, here we go again this week. I had it ready to show you, and we sold the last one, but we have a lot more coming in inventory. Dritz puts out a small iron, really awesome, tiny little iron. It does take water, it will steam, and it will get very, very hot and do a beautiful job of just setting your seams while you're doing some of your smaller work, or maybe you're away at retreat. What I'm holding up here is the iron rest for that iron. Really nice. It's silicone, so when that hot iron's on, and this little iron does not turn off after 10 minutes, when you put that hot iron down, it's not going to burn anything. So if you love this iron, you should have this mat to go with it. Okay? The mat right now retails for $5.99. Today's deal, all the notions that I show you are 25% off until Friday, okay? And then if you have a larger iron that you really wish you had that silicone rest, we have the larger ones as well. So the larger ones will be heat resistant and allow you to go ahead and rest that hot iron right down on top. Let me get back to irons. If you're someone that says, oh, I like that little tiny iron, but I don't like cords. Cords make me crazy when I'm trying to press and I have to fiddle fart around with all of that. So there is an iron put out by Panasonic that we truly, truly love. This is it. It is the Panasonic Freestyle iron. I'm holding it up because look at all of the holes all the way around. There is a lot of area for steam to come out. These get very nice and hot, but the best part of all is it sits in its home base and it will charge within its home base. really have had a lot of positive reviews about the Freestyle 360, and it is a great deal right now as well. So there's another style. So we've gone from a little iron, we're getting a little bit bigger. I'm gonna go bigger still. In front of me, shout out to you, Kathy Boyer. You got me so hooked on owning a press. I can't believe it. This is a press. The one we have in inventory right now is an artistic press, and I believe they're by the Elna Company. I believe. This is an artistic press. It does not have steam. It is heat press. But what happens here is when you lower this down, all the way down, you are applying 100 pounds of pressure to your project. It can't distort your project, it can only press it. And that is really a key thing, is just not to let that project get distorted. So these presses are really awesome. I think their MSRP is $5.99. We only have 2 left in inventory, and we're gonna sell them for $3.99. So I just wanna let you know this opportunity is out here for you now. Now this is not turned on, so I don't want you to look at this and hope that it was pressed for you, because I don't have this on. These get extremely hot. You do have the controls where you can play with how hot you'd like it to get, but boy, if it's on full steam ahead, all of you out there that like to do iron on applique, boy, does this put that steam on the back of your fabric just so beautifully. It really adheres. Sometimes with steam if you don't have a hot iron, when you go to pull the paper off, that gummy texture wants to pull away with it. Well, it's not going to happen with this. The heat that this goes to and the pressure that it applies, boy, it's really going to keep it that attached to the back of your project. You will love it, love it, love it. And let me go a little bit further. I have yet some more sample-y things to show you. Okay, we have Best Press. Best Press is a very lightweight starch, spray starch. We love it. It doesn't make our fabrics really stiff, but it's very helpful when we spray our projects to allow us to remove some of the wrinkles and things that are happening. We have another product. This one's called Flatter, right? What Flatter does is something very similar, but Flatter is not a starch. So it's not a starch at all. Matter of fact, let me see, it says here, made from plants and renewable resources. So what this is all about is, how do I get the creases out of my fabrics? Maybe my fat quarters have been staying in my stash a little too long, and I need to get some of the creases out. This product will do it. This one we love the Best Press. This will do it as well, but you are adding starch to your fabric. This one, you're not. It keeps your fabric really soft and smooth. A couple of things to think about. And 25% off. Now I want to show you another tool we love. I don't know if any of you played with a clapper. This is called a clapper. It's a solid piece of wood. Many people who do garment construction are going to say, oh, I know what that is. But it's often overlooked for those of us who are doing projects, bags, quilts, things like that. What does this do? A clapper sets your seam. So if you're working with your iron and you come over and you press and you've applied a lot of heat, putting a clapper over the top of it when you're done like this sets your seam. And boy, those quilters I know that have just absolutely spectacular, beautiful quilts that look so nice and perfect and pressed, a lot of them use the clapper and they know this trick. So we have these in inventory right now, and I'm just about to start a AccuQuilt block of the month, and we've been using this to build our blocks to make sure all our seams are set so that it beautifully sets everything up so those puzzle pieces are going to lock together. I'm pretty excited about that. And lastly, another thing that we love pressing sheets. Pressing sheets you can get made out of cloth, or you can get them made out of a silicone. And what the nice thing is about the silicone pressing sheets is, even if you had a plastic pin or a resin button or something like that. Having a pressing cloth over the top will keep your little embellishments from melting. Really awesome. Also, it will protect your fabric, so possibly if your heat source is getting to be too hot, it will protect your fabric or whatever you have down below. I use a pressing cloth over everything, for everything. So that is some really awesome things that are going on around here and what we have in the store. Equally, we have the full line of Lorastar irons, the professional irons. We love the Lorastar because the water is not in the iron itself. The water is in a tank, and it heats up in the tank. So you're not running the risk of all the water spitting out from your iron source because the steam is being generated separately in the tank. Come on in and see the Lorastars. They're on special and they're pretty spectacular. This is getting up to your professional grade irons. It will shoot steam like a professional iron, and it will pulsate steam like a professional iron. Really tremendous. Love it. Here it is, Issaquah Sewing and Vacuum. We're having a great time. We're starting off the new year with a lot going on. We do have a wonderful free event from Dime coming up. It's called the She Shed. And so look on Facebook for that and sign up to go to that event. It's really going to be a lot of fun. And Eddie whispered in my ear yesterday that we have more free events coming up in March. So stay tuned. We're going to tell you all about that. And for Sew Time members, we have our own Sew Time Club. And Sew Time is going to have its first event in February. So watch our newsletter for when that's going to happen. I believe Eddie and Debbie are going to be heading up our very first Sew Time event, and boy, is it going to be a lot of fun. So again, everybody, thank you for joining me today. I hope you're all home and safe and you have your power. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.